episode of the Best of Buckeye. I'm Superintendent Brian Williams, and we're joined today by our girls basketball team. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for being here today. Coach, why don't I start with you? We'll just go around the circle and each introduce yourself.
I'm Coach Randy Hardy. I'm the varsity girls basketball coach.
I'm Kayla Glancy.
I'm Maggie Kalem.
And I'm Alexa Eisenbrough.
All right, very good. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you being here. You guys are well into your season as we sit here on about January 20th. So, Coach, can you give us a little idea of how the season's going so far?
A little rough right now. I mean, we've hit a rough patch. We're currently 3-12, 2-8 in conference. We've lost 4 games by 3 points or less.
Wow.
That I think we're still learning how to win. We haven't got over that hump. In all 4 games, I thought we got the game well in hand, and we do some stupid little things that just a little bit like we don't know when to quit shooting. We panic a little bit. We're young. I mean, Maggie's the only senior on the team, and these two are both 2-year starters. So we're still learning how to win. But other than that, these kids are great to be around. I mean, I enjoy it. And I'm hoping you bring us luck, because last year I think we were 2-12 when we come into this meeting, and then we ran off 5 out of the last 9 games.
Well, there you go.
So I'm hoping.
Well, that's going to have to happen.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
I guess we need your leader, Maggie, to kind of make that happen.
Yeah.
Maggie, can you tell us from a senior's perspective, how's the season going?
Well, I think I love my team. We're a good group of girls. Like you said, we're struggling a little bit with the wins. With scoring points, I think, is our hardest part, is getting over that 30-point hump to get that win. But I think we're learning a lot from the beginning of the season. We've learned a lot. We've learned to finish a couple games, and I think we've just gotten better slowly, but we are getting better.
Now, as a senior, and you guys can think about this too, but you got a little time. But Maggie, what are your plans? Would you like to continue to participate in athletics beyond high school? What are you thinking about doing?
My plans are to play softball in college at Capital University. And I want to study education and come back with the coaching. I want to be a coach too. So
excellent, very good, outstanding. How about you? How about your perspective on the season so far, and your role maybe with the team, and whatever you are thinking about doing in your future?
We've definitely grown a lot since I first started varsity. We've had issues, but I think we're just getting stronger throughout the season, and it's getting better, kind of. But as everyone else said, our finishing isn't very great, so.
Well, and to some degree, that's a sign of a young team, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, young teams have a problem finishing. They can get to the point to where the win is right there, and then sometimes that experience kicks in, which puts maybe other teams over the hump a little bit. Yeah. So, how about your future? What would you like to do? Have you thought much about that?
I'm not really sure.
What grade are you in now?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior. Okay, very good. How about you in the season so far?
It's not progressing as well as we'd like it to. I mean, but it's getting better, and hopefully next year it'll get better earlier.
Now, were you Player of the Week? Did I see once?
I'm not
that was
that was you. Okay, you were Player of the Week. Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
And how about future for you? Have you thought much about that? Are you a junior?
Yeah, I'm also a junior.
Okay.
I actually do post-secondary right now, full-time, so I'm hoping to transfer all my credits over to Ohio State.
Okay, good. And post-secondary is taking college credits at the high school level.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you're an excellent student. Kayla, I assume you're a pretty good student?
Yeah, decent.
Decent student? You know, again, that's what you're here for. I mean, basketball aside, you're here to be a student and to be a good role model. And I know that you guys do that, and I appreciate that. Coach, how about, obviously, the future? You have a young team. Can you talk about the future a little bit as far as maybe what the varsity future looks like, and then maybe what you have coming up from your younger team?
Well, the future of the varsity, we thought it would go a little faster, because last year basically we had 3 seniors, and 4 of my starters are back from last year's team, and Caitlin Hubany also played a lot of minutes, and so did Olivia Hardy. So we had 6 girls with some varsity playing time last year. So it's only going to get better. We put a little new system in this year. I brought in one of my ex-coaches in, Coach Steve Borges, that coached here for many years. He's helping out this year. And we're trying to do a little bit different things on defense. We're trying to play a little bit more up-tempo this year. We do a pretty good job of that, but then late in the game, we seem to forget to do that, and we slow it down into a crawl, and then we forget to, just the little things. I mean, like I said, they listen very well. It's just the problem is we don't finish. We don't score a lot of baskets. That's our problem right now. And our defense is right now number 2 in the county right now, but holding teams to 43 doesn't do you much good when you only score 33 points a game right now.
Well, and there's 2 finishes, right? There's a finish every single game, and you want to finish strong in every single game, but there's also finishing in your season, and it sounds like you guys just keep getting better, and you can, if you can peak at the right time. I mean, the beauty of basketball is you can have a mediocre season, but peak at the right time and get hot in the tournaments, and who knows how far you can go when you hit the tournaments.
That's the good thing, because we're playing, I would say 2 to 3 quarters really well every night, and then we have that quarter stretch where we don't play well. Like Firelands was 16-0 last year in the conference. It's 23-20 at halftime with them. Keystone, pretty much a perennial power in our conference. That's one of the games we would like to have back. We had a 6-point lead in the fourth quarter on them. We ended up losing the game by 2 points. So we played really well in that game, and that showed me these girls can play with anybody.
Excellent.
So
good. How about the JV and freshman teams?
The JV team is currently, I believe, 8-2 in conference. Overall, I believe they have 4 losses, and the freshman team is right around 500. I mean, we field 3 teams with 24 girls basically here. I have pretty much 9 varsity girls. Freshmen, there's only like 6 that play just all freshmen, and then we rotate girls back and forth. But doing really well, very young. If we look at our whole roster, I think we have 5 juniors, 1 senior. All the rest of the girls are sophomores and freshmen.
Wow. So that bodes well for the future.
Yeah.
How about the junior high? I think they're
junior
winning
high
some games.
Just started. I believe our 7th grade team's 2-0. Our 8th grade team is 1-1.
Yeah.
And I want to get down there to watch them. I think they play this Saturday at home. I want to go watch them play this Saturday. It's tough since they've increased the schedule to 22 games to scout and go watch all your teams play at the same time.
Oh yeah, that's tough. It's a lot of time. When you're in the middle of the season, it's a crazy time for you.
Yes, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I mean, like I told the girls, I've given up staying up till 3 in the morning. And I'm up 3 in the morning looking at game films, and I said, I got to relax, just go to bed.
Right.
I mean, take a win with a win, a loss with a loss, and you build from that.
Right. But, well, that's the bottom line, is you just build and you work hard every single day, and what's going to happen is going to happen.
And I do think that's one thing we have to improve on, and they kind of agree, because after the loss we had the other night, what game was that we lost?
I don't know.
Maggie made a comment. All 3 captains. Yeah, all 3 captains. We took Lutheran West into overtime. It had the same thing. Had the lead, blew the lead, and went overtime. We ended up losing by 3. And they all 3 made the comment, we play like we practice. We don't always practice at full tilt, and we need to do that. That's part of the learning process.
Well, and that's creating that culture, right? Because you want that culture year after year after year, that the kids know you come into this program, that's an expectation. You're going to play hard, whether it's practice, whether it's in a game, and you're right. You can't turn it on. You know, you can't go half-go in practice and expect you're going to turn it on in a game. It's just not going to happen. So, well, that sounds like a big revelation. And for you guys as your 3 captains, as you guys as captains, I mean, if that's something that you've recognized, and the only ones that can make a difference there is you guys, right? Coach can yell and scream, but if you guys don't decide you're going to make it happen, it's not going to happen.
And these 3 girls have did a pretty good job of leading this year. I mean, they lead by example pretty well. I mean, everybody has their moments. I have moments too where I don't coach the way I think I should. And sometimes in practice, like especially after a win, you get that win the next day of practice, you want to lighten up on them a little bit, let them go, but sometimes that can hurt you.
Oh yeah.
In fact.
Yeah. Good. How about activities outside of basketball and outside of school? Do you guys all participate in anything else?
I play soccer. So.
Good. You had a heck of a soccer season.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Very good. Thank you.
Good. Maggie?
I'm in a lot of stuff. I play softball and volleyball. Well, no more volleyball anymore, but and then I'm in a lot of extracurriculars as well. So.
And how about besides post-secondary, any other activities you're involved with?
I'm an FFA, and I do a lot of stuff with my church and things like that.
Wonderful. You know, one of the reasons I like to do this show not only is to highlight our activities and our students and our coaches, but also I hope that our younger kids, whether that be elementary school kids or junior high kids, realize that it's important to be a part of something like this, but it's also important to be very well-rounded and to participate in many activities and get involved. And number one, make sure that you've got the grades, because that's why you're here. Number one is to be a student and to be a successful student and to set yourself up for a very successful future. So thank you guys for doing that and for being that role model. We appreciate that. Coach, anything else that we want to talk about today?
We do our elementary programs. We've started, I've got Mike Vogt and his wife Ann and Chris Sexton, and they put together, we have our regular rec youth league on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, and we have 2 travel squads now, a 5th grade team and a 6th grade team that is currently playing in Barberton. And I think both teams are doing pretty well over there.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, they got to get used to the size of the schools. I mean, Medina, Wadsworth, and them only have one team. So especially our younger teams playing against really the top of the line teams, Wadsworth and those girls. But I mean, it's nice to see the girls coming out, and we really like when it's youth night, when the girls come to the games, and we have special shirts when they get announced, our starters. They throw the girls the shirts. It's kind of really nice, and I think we played our best games when the youth is here.
Well, you want to look good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's how you build a program. You build a program from the younger kids and work them hard until they get up to your varsity program. So good for you.
Yeah, and I think us as coaches of all the sports need to do a better job. Some of these girls, I have Maggie and Olivia Hartley that play 3 sports, and what I'll say, they make almost everything we do. We try to organize, but as of coaching staffs, there's only so much time these girls can spend in the summer.
Sure.
They need to be girls too.
Absolutely.
So basically that was our downfall this year, I think, in our summer program. What you girls say, it was basically the girls that are playing varsity, and then we had a big lapse in between. We had a couple, 2 or 3 freshmen, but we weren't getting the turnout every night that we should have.
Yeah.
And I think the girls need to buy into that. It's not just coming when it's required. They need to put, like, if you can find a gym, go shoot 100 shots a day or so.
Right, sure. Well, and that's what's tough. I mean, we have a school that's a little bit smaller, as you mentioned, compared to some of those other that you mentioned. And we have kids that participate in a lot of sports, and they should. That's the way it should be.
Yes, that's the way it should be.
And we encourage that, but oftentimes you find yourself going up against kids who basketball's it. That's all they play year round.
Yes.
And that's hard. That's hard to compete against that. But I certainly would encourage our kids to be well-rounded and to participate in as much as they can, and try to do the basketball as much as possible. But also just be a well-rounded kid. And like you said, you got to be a kid sometimes and walk away and forget it and have fun with your friends,
Yes, and I agree with that. Like, we usually, our heavy month is June. Once June's over, I could go all the way through July, and I said, no, you're going back to school. They need to have fun in July.
Sure, absolutely.
Because I know Kayla starts soccer.
I was going to say, starting soccer and volleyball and, all the other things that they do, and that's what we want them to do. So, good. Anything else, Coach, that we need to talk about today?
No, we're fine. I'm just hoping this little meeting just gets us going again,
well, let's
because
hope
we're really close to getting it going.
Good. Well, maybe this will put you over the edge.
Yep.
Yeah.
We want to say thank you to your parents, because I know you got a lot of parents that work hard and raise money. And
definitely. Our Rebounders Clubs did a nice job. In fact, Lex's mother's the president. And they work really hard at funding the shirts the girls are wearing are from the Rebounders Club, and pretty much everything. Our shootouts in the summertime, both the boys and girls do. I mean, and we do, I will say, when we go places, Buckeye is one of the better schools at bringing crowds. Well, I mean, when we went to Black River, the Black River team's been running constantly on that, which is great to see. Our crowd, we probably had about 100 people there that night. And by the way, we'll be getting you another tape soon.
Good.
You like the audio, huh?
I like it. Keep them coming. We like to fill that TV up with our kids participating. So the more we can get, the better. That'd be great. So, and we'll put this on there here very soon.
Okay.
So thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate your time, and thank you for coming, and good luck, and keep working hard and finish strong.
Yeah,
Okay,
That's what it's all about, and you make us so proud. Okay, is so proud of you guys. So, and Coach, thank you very much for all you do. I know it's a thankless job, and it's a lot of time.
Oh, I love it.
People don't appreciate that. Well, I'm glad you do. You have to love it. If you don't love it, you wouldn't be able to do it. So, well, thank you guys. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and go to our TV channel, and you can see some games possibly in this broadcast. But I want to thank you for tuning in, and for our girls basketball team today. This is Brian Williams, Superintendent. I want to thank you for tuning in, and watch for more episodes in the future.